Hello, and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be reviewing this Coca-Cola Cherry Float, which says it is cherry vanilla flavored and other natural flavors. Not cherry vanilla flavored Coke, mind you, just cherry vanilla flavored, which is interesting because Cherry Coke says that it's cherry flavored Coke. It does say new, but it does not say limited edition or anything like that. So I'm thinking this is probably at least here for a while. And it does say that it contains no dairy, which I would not expect it to, but maybe it's because there's ice cream on the bottle. Let's see. High fructose corn syrup, caramel color. Um, Nothing especially interesting in the ingredient list. Actually, this ingredient list is nearly identical to Cherry Coke. Um, yeah, it just is. Obviously, the natural flavors are going to be a bit different. Um, but as far as I can tell, that's pretty much the only difference here. Of course, the balances of the ingredients are probably a bit different. Um, but yeah, it even has a similar sort of branding to the Cherry Coke, where the label is mostly red, but then towards the top here, it starts to get that more purple tone to it. Um, which I find slightly concerning because what I was really hoping for um, with this drink was I was hoping for something like the holiday creamy vanilla, because with that one they went with the creamy, and with this one we've got the ice cream. Um, and they both say contains no dairy, and that's just kind of what I was hoping for. I haven't tried this yet, and even though we have reviewed the zero sugar version of that, which you can find here, I have not seen that video. I didn't edit it, and I even left the room for it to be recorded. I have also not seen any other reviews of this, so I really don't know what to expect. And I think that's pretty cool because I'm a little bit excited about this, less excited than I was before I saw how similar it is to Cherry Coke and its branding. But I'm really hoping for that nice texture that the holiday creamy vanilla Coca-Cola had. But I do kind of expect to be disappointed by it at this point. Let's see what we're working with. I think I smell the vanilla first. Okay. I still think I smell more vanilla. Okay. I have mentioned before that I like to go to Waffle House and get regular Coke with the cherry and vanilla syrups added to it. And this kind of smells like that. I think there's more vanilla in it than that has. But of course, that's up to individual variation, um, and who's adding the syrup. These presumably will be the same every time, which is the benefit of a pre-produced drink versus something that the very nice Waffle House worker is concocting for you. Well, here we go. Okay. That's interesting. I would say the cherry is stronger than the vanilla at first, and I don't think it has quite that same thickness that the holiday creamy vanilla had. But actually, let me. It has a bit of it, I think. I'm not sure if it's as strong, but I do think that it has a little bit of that. I would say that up front, the cherry flavor is quite a bit stronger than the vanilla, although the vanilla is there, I'm pretty sure. And then after you swallow it, there's an aftertaste that is initially very similar. It's that mostly cherry type flavor. But as the aftertaste fades, it becomes more and more vanilla. Hmm. I personally believe that this is considerably better than a cherry Coke. Um, I do still get a little bit of stickiness after this one, which was my main complaint um, in the cherry Coke review. Uh, Coca-Cola Cherry, if you're being proper and fancy. Um, I think this is better than that. The flavor, I think, is a lot better. It has a thicker texture, and I don't think it's quite as sticky. It is still sticky, but I'm more willing to forgive it because it's otherwise better. Um, it is also colored with only caramel color, which makes sense because it's very brown. It doesn't really have any hints of red or pink in it, um, which is pretty normal for Coca Cola. Most of the flavors of Coca Cola are colored with only caramel color, at least in my experience, which is probably some kind of branding thing. Um, but yeah, I like this. It's not as good as I was hoping. but it is better than I was worried it would be. I do still find that the smell is very vanilla forward, which is interesting because I think the taste is very cherry forward, except in the end, after the aftertaste is already fading, and then it becomes more and more vanilla, which I think is kind of interesting. Of course, the smell of this is just as engineered as the flavor. And I do think it's interesting that the vanilla is the stronger smell, but the cherry is the stronger flavor. Hmm. I wonder if maybe there is more vanilla, but the cherry is just overpowering it a bit. I mean, if we look at the reference they've gone for cherry float, which, unless it's meant to be a float made with cherry Coke, then that would be vanilla ice cream with a cherry on it, as they've done here, which would indicate more vanilla than cherry. I'm probably overthinking that, but Coca-Cola, I am certain, spends lots of money on R&D. They're publicly traded, so I could go check their like stockholder reports and such, but I'm just gonna assume that. Um, if somebody's confident I'm wrong, go yell at me in the comments. But I'm just gonna assume that. So I think it's very reasonable that they would have thought about that. Although, if you were to make a Coke float with cherry Coke, then there would be considerably more cherry flavor, and it's all how you think about the vision, I suppose. Hmm. Interestingly, the smell here is not just an overpowering vanilla like a vanilla Coke. It's hmm, it's more subtle. It makes me think of. I'm not saying it smells like this. It makes me think of this. It makes me think of like a little bakery, wood tones. It doesn't smell like wood. It just makes me feel that way for some reason. There definitely is cherry in the smell, though. If they sold this smell as a candle and we were allowed to have candles in this apartment, I would buy this smell as a candle. It's really nice. And it tastes good too. What I'm trying to figure out is, how good does it taste? How often would I drink this again? Certainly more often than a cherry Coke. But that's not a terribly high bar for me, considering I have a cherry Coke every few years. I think I would probably have this if it is permanently available. Maybe 2 to 3 times per year, which for a non mainline soda, that is not one of the primary things that I drink, that's actually pretty frequent. Um, yeah, I think 2 to 3 times per year is probably where this is going to sit for me. That's a compliment, to be clear. As I've said before, I don't actually drink that much soda. I just like to drink weird sodas like this. And I wanted a record of what I thought of them. And it seemed like less work to record it than to try to note down all my thoughts. And I might have been wrong about that, but here we are. This channel was almost a Tumblr vlog. And this drink, I like. And I give it a good.